Hi everyone. Hi, happy Thursday. Welcome to the live chat with Rachel. I think I'm live now. Yeah, let me just check. Right. Hi everyone. Welcome to Thursday's live. I'll give everyone a second to come on and I'll start to pull us a card for tonight. Oh, the one I've just pulled was upside down. So I'm not sure who's going to be joining tonight because we have had schools going back here in the UK. So that, there could be some mums that are a bit frazzled. Strength and guidance. I feel, did we get this card last week? We might have got this card last week. Hi, someone's just come on. Pop a comment in so I can see who. So this card is saying this week that literally the power is in our hands. We might feel like we're completely out of control at the minute and there's weird energies going on. So we're midpoint between two eclipses. Hi Anya. So what's been happening is with all this turbulent energy, it kind of stirs all the energy up, and we're moving into the 9th month and it's all about releasing, it's all about letting go, it's all about just letting all the old go. So you might have been feeling a little out of sorts and a little kind of, I don't know, under the weather in a sense, and this card is just coming in to say all that darkness is shifting, it's all coming together nicely. So you just got to keep focusing on you, focusing on your inner work, focusing on your intuition. There's a really big white light here. So it's about focusing in on you, your inner world, and the darkness is all going to start shifting. So if you've been feeling that lately, that's what it is. It's not that you're under the weather. It's not that, things are all going wrong. It's that things are just nicely parting ways for you so that you can embrace this new way of being. So please don't be afraid of that energy. If you do come on, just pop a comment in so I can say hi. I'm going between my phone and the screen, so I will keep an eye on comments. So these chats obviously are set up to go through kind of a bit of information around the podcast, a bit of information around what I do, and any questions you might have. So if you've got any questions for me, please bring it up. Hiya Karen, how are you doing tonight? So we've just had this card that I've just pulled for the whole group, and this one is saying that if you've been feeling a little bit out of sorts or a little bit like everything's upside down at the minute, connect into your inner world, because everything is shifting, all that darkness is freeing, it's all moving out the way. So this week in the podcast I shared with you 3 mantras that I use and I live my whole life by, and I never used to live my life by them. I used to be very much the opposite, but these were the 3 things that really turned things around for me. So if you've listened to the podcast, pop a comment in, even if you're watching on replay. Hi, we've got some more join. Just pop some comments in. And Karen, how's your week been? I'd love to know. Hi, Oswald. So I've just pulled a card for the group, Oswald, so you'll have to go back and have a little look at that one. It was a good card and it might help with anybody who's been feeling weird energy at the minute, because what I was saying was we are midpoint between 2 eclipses this week, so you could be feeling big powerful energy, and this was the card that come out, strength and guidance. But if you have a look at that card, it is all about the darkness is shifting, it is all parting ways. So if you've been feeling all this turbulence, it's about that energy shifting, so please don't be scared of it. And this week, like I said on the podcast, I talked about 3 mantras that I live by. And any mantras, what you have to do, you have to say them over and over again. You don't just say them once and that's it, you believe it and woo, life's amazing. You start to say them over and over again. Because if you think of any beliefs you have, any mantras you live by now, which is things like, you have to work hard for your money, good things don't come easy, or they don't last long. All of them are mantras, and how many of you are living by them types of mantras? Please pop a hand up in the comments if you are living by all of them. You've got to work hard for your money, good things don't last, all of that type of thing. Put in what type of mantras you have had drilled into you for years. Don't worry, Darcy, late as usual. I'm normally late for everything, so I'm trying to make a conscious effort. But mantras are just things that we do constantly say to ourselves, and we've heard them over and over again. Society drills them into us, and often they end up, taking over our whole life. Yeah, Karen, I hope that darkness is shifting. So often, I always say, when we're planting a new beginning, when we're making that change, we've got to disrupt a bit of soil. We've got to move some of this stuff about, and that can feel really unsettling. I think there's a bit of a delay on the comments, so I'll just catch up on what people are saying. The weird energy was certainly on display today. Yeah, I hope you're okay in New York there, Oswald. It's the only thing that made the office and trip. Yeah, live for so long with them mantras, definitely. And pop in the mantras that you are currently living by, because you might not realise that you do live by them. And the fact is that, one of them is life's hard, life's unfair, bad things happen to me. These are all things that often we say, and we let them come out of our mouth, and we don't realise the impact of they are becoming our beliefs. They are becoming the things that are forming what's happening outside of us, because like the card said, it's all about your inner work. It's all about the inner stuff we're doing, because when you start to get the inner side of you right, the outside starts to glow. But often, because we have these mantras that we live by and we don't realise, we accumulate all these experiences that often are because we're saying life is hard, so life then becomes really hard, or good things don't last, so we don't even let ourselves enjoy the good things when they do come. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail, right? I love that one, Kelly. But see, I'm the opposite. That absolutely makes me cringe, because I am such a winger. Honestly, I sometimes sit down literally 5 minutes before I record a podcast and pull out a card and go, what should I talk about today? And I'm such I love when I'm totally in the zone, just winging stuff. So yeah, I'm not a preparer, so that doesn't resonate for me. I'm learning to know my worth. Good, Darcy. And then think of the mantra that you kind of had on the opposite of that. That was what we were living by. So I used to have that song in my head, the one about life being unfair, I might as well go and eat worms, because I was a middle child, and I had that song sung to me so many times growing up. It was literally like, if I showed an emotion, or if I showed I was unhappy about something, I would get that song, oh, you're moping, life's unfair, you might as well go and eat worms. So I had this real kind of mantra that life was unfair, and it just comes from the smallest, stupidest things, as your brother and sister just being absolute idiots, not even thinking, just singing a stupid song and it kind of becomes a mantra that you end up living by. So I always had that mantra, and I always had the mantra that, other people were better than me, and it was just from that, not being able to show them emotions, not being able to have my voice. So the past few years, I've very much been working on claiming that back and stepping into my energy that's mine alone. It doesn't matter who I outshine or who I upset. It's all about me and my energy, and that mantra has to come with it. So I use these 3 mantras that I talk about in the podcast constantly, and it is practice. It is repeated going over it. When I'm in a low way and I'm letting life get to me, I think, right, what am I doing? Go back to these mantras. And I genuinely do this. And this is a practice that I want to share with you that I do constantly. And any successful person will have their own mantra that they'll have to keep going back to and they'll have to keep working to. And as well, the mantra will be strong. It'll be something that they're like, no, this is my mantra. So the first one, the universe is always working for me. Now, that can seem really hard, especially when we've got this card coming up about the energies that we're going through and that feeling that everybody's going through. And you said in the comments the stuff that, you're feeling at the minute. It's heavy energy, and it can be heavy energy. But what are we learning from it? What are you learning from the situation you're in now? So when I've been in them dark times, or I've been feeling really heavy energy, I get a lot out of giving myself grace. I get to learn to give myself grace. I get to learn that not everything has to be done that day. I get to learn to listen to my body and listen to what it needs. And also, from some of my hardest times, my best lessons have ever happened, and also my redirections. So, I do constantly think when anything negative happens, I always go back to my mantra repeatedly in my mind. Everything is working for me, and it just lets me lift out of the situation. It allows me to see what's actually going on rather than my own expectation that I think should happen. Because often the universe has a whole better plan for you, and they have to do some realignment to get you into the right place, to get you the thing that really is what you want and what you deserve. So what the situations you're all in now, if you thought to yourself, the universe is always working for me, how would that change the way that you look at the situation? How would that make you feel to know that this is happening because there is something better in store? Pop in the comments, let me know how that would actually change your perspective on the way that you're looking at life at the minute. If you genuinely believed the universe is always working for you, how would that change your outlook currently? Pop in the comments and let me know, because that is the first mantra I live by, and I swear by that mantra. Honestly, with everyone in this group, everyone on the planet, they've all been through their own level of trauma, they've all been through their own level of grief, and they've all been through their own level of challenges, and everybody has. It doesn't matter who you meet, everybody's got a story. Everybody's got these levels and things that they've had to get over. And we've all got our own. I've got mine, you guys have got yours. But they have all happened and worked out for certain things. Now, I've always said on this, if I hadn't have went through the things I did in my childhood and different experiences, I would not be sat here doing what I do now, which is what I absolutely love. But at the time, it felt like the worst thing in the world. But actually now I'm so grateful for all those experiences, because it means I can connect with people and I know how to get to the other side. I know how to work through the stuff to get there. So if without that experience, I wouldn't have anything to teach. I wouldn't have anything to talk about. So for me, it is like the universe is always working for us. Darcy, inner peace. Yeah, the inner peace I get just from saying that mantra when things are going wrong. I'm like, the universe is working for me, the universe is working for me. It just fills me with peace, and I just know I'm okay, I'm supported. Help you to stop doubting. Yeah, definitely. Chilled right out, zero stress, no money worries. Exactly, Kelly. And peace and happiness. So that is my first mantra, and it does take repetition. I always say this, repetition is the mother of all skill. But no matter what you're going through, no matter what is happening, why don't you start with the mantra? It can't be any worse than what you're experiencing now. And if your mantra's saying life is hard and bad things happen to you, then that isn't going to help anything. But what if you change that mantra to the universe is always working for me? And that's your first one, that's your start. So that is how you start to embed that belief. Because any belief we have is just something we've said on repeat. So why not start believing something that is really going to make your life a whole lot better? So that's the first one. You're going to like the second one. So the second mantra I live by and absolutely swear by, everything is temporary. Absolutely everything. Nothing lasts forever. And I don't mean that as in good times. You know, we have that mantra, and I know a few of us have this in the group where good times are short-lived or good things don't last long. I don't mean that. I mean, everything is temporary. The whole world works in cycles, seasons, ebbs and flows. So you could be in the worst job that you've ever been in. You could feel like you are in the worst situation ever. And you just know it is temporary. It is temporary, and there is always a way out. And I was in a position where I've been in jobs where I got bullied. I've been in jobs where I felt trapped and stuck. And I really did feel it was the worst thing in the world ever. And knowing that something is completely temporary takes a whole lot of weight off me. So whether you're in financial stress, it's all temporary. Whether you're in, that job, again, it's all temporary. Everything can change. And what happened for me when I started to think this, things started to change at work. Things started to get better, because I just thought it's temporary. It's never going to be this bad forever. So what would your life be like now if the situations you're thinking about and you started to think they're just temporary? They're not going to last forever. How does that make you feel? Because that is a big one for me. And it really does help. So if I'm at a place where money's a bit tighter one month, it's all temporary. Or, something happens and it's like one thing after another. Again, it's just a phase, it's just a cycle, it's just letting that old stuff go. It's all temporary. A new season's going to come in, and that's good. And sometimes in these seasons where things are shifting and releasing and letting go, it can feel unnerving. But actually, you look at trees, you look at nature, that is the biggest time for release. That is the biggest time that allows the regrowth. So you need that time. We need the shedding, we need the letting go, relieved, peace and happiness. Yeah, brilliant. And this is the thing, every single thing is temporary. You look back along your life and look at all them situations that have been hard and difficult, and you felt like everything was caving in on you, and you never, how am I going to get out of this? Hi Ginger. And actually you'll have looked back and it will be short-lived. It won't be your forever place. So just remember that everything is temporary. So when we're in that place, keep repeating your mantra, everything is temporary and the universe is always working for me. So what is that shift? What is that big thing that's coming next? Would help me snap out of being so frustrated. Yeah, Darcy, well, exactly. This is a phase, this is a section of your life that potentially is going to be short-lived. And, we can change that. We really can change that. And it is just temporary. So please, pity party feeling. Yeah, I've been there. I know that feeling. To be honest, I was feeling that today. So I was feeling a bit under the weather today. And then I was like, oh, it's just temporary. Because I was thinking, do I cancel the live? And then I was like, no, it's just temporary. It'll pass. And I had that mantra going on through my head today to get me to the place to come and do this tonight. So just, this works. It all works because it's all gets in your head and it actually sinks in, and your body and everything just up levels to get you to that place because you believe this. You end up believing it. It becomes the mantra that you do live by. So I swear by these. These three completely changed my whole world and still do now. Even I get in pity parties too. We're all human, and I still have this, and I have it. It's like a chat to myself where I'm like, no, universe is working for me. Everything's temporary. And the last one, it all starts with me. So this is the hardest one to accept, but this is the one that gives you your ultimate power back. Now, if you've been feeling like everything is getting on top of you, like the whole world is against you, everything starts with you. None of that outside is going to change until we shift something within you. And the big shift that you could make is that these first two mantras, the fact that if you start to believe everything is working for you and everything is temporary, then that's a massive shift in itself. That's 2 degrees of difference that would make a huge change and a huge impact to your external world. So, hi Casey. Yeah, you're just agreeing with Darcy. So, yeah, the last one, unfortunately, it does all start with us. It's us that have to make the change. It's us that have to make the shift. I spent my whole life giving my power back out to everyone. And I did that because I was constantly waiting for everyone else to make me happy. For everything else to become fair, to become, good, and all this good stuff to happen to me. And I just wanted it to happen. I wanted someone to knock on my door and give me the perfect job, or give me the £1 million, or give me all this stuff. I just was so desperate for everybody outside of me to make things easier for me. And I never thought to look internally. And it was only when I started to look at, what can I do to change this? What can I do to change my situation? And that's what led me to all the inner work. That is when everything started to change. Literally everything. And it wasn't a slow journey, it was quick. As soon as you set that intention that you are getting your power back and you are taking control, believe me, the universe steps up and starts to listen. Now, we can sit there and we can keep hoping that everything outside is going to get better, but it really isn't until we start to make that shift in us. And I just claimed everything back. I got all my blame power back, because I didn't have any money because it was all my husband's fault, and I didn't have a good job because it was that girl I didn't really like in the office. It was all her fault. It was my boss's fault. It was literally everybody else. I blamed everything and everyone for my situation. And by doing that, I give them power. I give them everything I had, because I was dying for them to change so that my world changed. And it wasn't happening. And it never was going to happen until I said no. I had to change. I had let my boss treat me poorly. I had let my husband treat me poorly and just accepted it. And, I had allowed us to be crap with money and just accepted it. And I was like, now enough's enough. It has to start with you. It had to start with me. And it was a big change. And for me to say, actually, I've given everybody my power and now I'm going to claim it back, was huge. So really think about, how can you claim your own power, or how are you giving your power out to other people? Giving them the responsibility to make you happy. Because we do that all the time. We think, well, I'll be happy when my family treats me better, or I'll be happy when, when I meet a person, a man, a woman, whatever it is, I'll be happy when, and you've got to make yourself happy now. Already changed so much, just trusting even more. Yeah, Casey, you really have. And Darcy, I'm glad that resonates. So yeah, start to think about, what is it that you can do to claim your power? Instead of sitting waiting for everything to fix outside of you, what can you do internally? And that's what this card was about as well from earlier on, strength and guidance. And if you have a look at all this white energy, it is all about your internal power. The power is in your hands. He's sat there like that, like the power is in your hands to let all that darkness go and to step into your own greatness. And genuinely, that is what can happen. So if you adopt these 3 mantras like I adopted them, you literally can transform everything. So imagine that the universe is always working for us. Everything is temporary and it all starts with you. So who can you stop blaming for everything that's going wrong and start pulling that power back in and try and do that. So I talk about this in the podcast as well. So if you want to hear it again on repeat, because remember, taking this information in over and over again does really help. So have a listen to the podcast and let me know what you think. And the Frustrated to Zen course that's out there, it's on offer at the minute at $47 and it will be going up shortly. And I'm going to be launching at the end of September the new course as well, but I'll be running some webinars on masterclasses. I'm going to be working out how I'm going to be launching that new course, but I've got an amazing new manifesting course that's going to take you right from the beginning of the journey right to the end, and I'm excited about that one. So keep coming to the lives, keep sharing your stories. I'd love to hear more about what's been happening, and you know, please don't be shy, post in the group. Just you know, the group is yours, it's your community. It works best if you work off each other as well, balance off each other. And when you're having these bad weeks, you know, you can help each other, boost each other up, and as well share what's been happening and manifesting. Obviously, last week I talked about the 17-second rule. So I don't know whether anybody's been doing that, but that has obviously, I picked up my car at the weekend. So the 17-second rule manifested that new car, which is amazing. So there's loads of good stuff happening, and just share what's happening with you. I would love to hear it. Any questions before we finish tonight? And thank you all for joining me. I do love doing these lives and getting to know you all more as well. So pop in if you have any questions. Or, I mean, for me, with the mantras, the best way is constantly have them around you as well. You could have little cards on your desk, or you could have post-its on your fridge, or reminders on your phone, little things that's just going to prompt you that, you know, to think about these mantras. Because remember, we've got our old ones on repeat constantly. So we've got money doesn't grow on trees, all of these things, and they're just constantly, they come up so easy. You actually say them, don't you? And you think, where did I say that? I sound like my mum. Or I sound like my grandma. Suddenly this phrase just comes out your voice, and it's just because we've had it on repeat. So now we've got to have that new one on repeat. Oh, Kelly, that would be amazing. So do some crafty stuff for your mantras. Get them in the group, because that would be so, so good. Your crafty stuff is amazing. You could be getting them done and then getting orders. Like, awesome. But yeah, put them in the group and then I can see them, because then I might be buying some off you. So, so they are my 3 mantras. And I do, honestly, even when things are tough, even when things, you know, don't work out as planned, I genuinely live by these mantras. These are what I go back to. They are what I remind myself. They're what I love to say I give myself a spiritual slap, because I do. So when I have to give myself a spiritual slap, I'm like, Rachel, it all starts with you. If something isn't working, what's going on with you? It's a reflection of your inner world. So sort it out. I have this chat with myself, and you know, it's about just practice. So the universe is always working for you. Everything is temporary, absolutely everything. It's all temporary. So don't stress about the small stuff. And then it all starts with you. So claim your power back. All right. So if there's no more questions, even if you have any, if you think of them later, pop them in and I will go back and comment. But again, the Frustrated to Zen course, that course takes you from a point of wherever you are currently, but it connects you in with your inner voice. So if you're looking for more calm, you're looking for more peace, more happiness, you're looking to connect in properly and shut out that inner chatter that you've got going on, that is the one to start with. That's a 4-week program, steps you through absolutely everything. And off the back of that, you're going to feel so more connected with who you are and who you want to be. And also just have that sense of calm and knowing that everything really does have your back. Everything will be okay. So I'll post the link in here for that as well. That's, like I said, that's on special offer for a bit longer and then it'll be going up to the full price. So yeah, if you're looking for that connection, then that's the one. That's a really good 4-week program for you, and it gets you started and it gets you to see how I teach as well. So start with that one if you're looking for something to connect in, and I will catch you all next week. Thanks, Casey. Thanks, Darcy. And night, Kelly. Catch you all soon. Bye.